Good day, Liberators, and welcome to episode 2 of Penny for My Thoughts. So, today someone sent me a picture, a teacher. They sent me a picture from one of the reading books that they teach to children in New Zealand. And it was actually quite interesting to see that this the story is about well, not necessarily about, but the story shows a mixed race family together, and this seems to be actually quite the norm with the books that are being taught in New Zealand. Now, what I mean about books that are being taught in New Zealand, these are like government books. So it's actually quite interesting. So they're promoting mixed race families to little children. So it's so the indoctrination is just fascinating. Now, while this might seem actually hypocritical coming from me. So I'm a white guy married to an Asian woman. Now you might say, well, this is hypocritical coming from you. Well, hold your horses there. I have no problem with people voluntarily and freely choosing to be with someone way different from their own culture and someone from a different race, right? The key thing here is it has to be voluntary. But this is not what the New Zealand government is doing, and many other governments for that matter. You see, they are in the practice of forcing people to into like interracial marriages. You see, the thing is, I respect nationalists. I respect white nationalists. I respect Japanese nationalists. I respect Kenyan nationalists. And I want each and every country on earth to remain uniquely unique. I don't want any of these cultures to disappear. I want India to remain Indian. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with a group of people who feel that marrying someone from another culture or race is wrong. It's perfectly fine and normal for people to want to preserve their culture and society. Now, that being said, it is also perfectly acceptable if someone chooses to marry someone different from a different race and from a different culture. But indoctrinating young kids into thinking that it is not only okay, but you must replace your family. The white people must be replaced by people from different ethnicities, different races. That is a very dangerous thing. And unfortunately, white people, or very few white people, are actually doing something about it. And I can understand, like, if you speak out against it, these days you can lose everything. You can lose your job, you can lose your income, your bank account can get closed down, your entire social life can get destroyed. On top of that, if your family finds out about this, it is very most likely that your family will distance themselves from you and actually ostracize you. Which is very sad that if you look at, European history, we used to be strong nationalists and we used to support each other. We used to say England first, or Germany first, or we used to wage massive wars to preserve who we are, and unfortunately we've lost that. Now, whether or not we've lost that forever remains to be seen. But yeah, so not to carry on for too long, but parents, you need to be aware of what is being taught to your children. Like this one specific story that I've seen. Now the story is about like a birthday, and it's there's nothing specifically wrong with the words in the story, but it's those subtle things like the pictures themselves. You can clearly see that mommy is married to a non-white man, and they have non-white children, and grandpa is white, and the rest of the family gathering together. It's white people mixed with non-white people. Now, normally that wouldn't be in itself something wrong, but as we all know with governments, never ever trust the government, right? Governments putting this in public education always have an agenda. And as most of you already know, governments all around the world in European countries have an agenda. They want to replace the white man, right? If you are a white family, you are condemned for having children. Don't have children because it's bad for the environment, or the earth is overpopulated. No one ever goes and says to the Kenyans or the Congolese or to the Indians, like, stop having children. Having children is bad for the environment. It's always white people that are the problem. Somehow having white children is bad for the environment. Somehow having white children overpopulates the planet. White people, you need to break free from this indoctrination. You need to break free from this bullshit that's been fed to you for years and years on end. Start having babies. And if you want to preserve your race, there's no shame in it. If you want to preserve your culture, whether you are German, French, British, Australian, or New Zealand, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to preserve your race, your culture. Do not throw it away. Do not squander what you have. Your ancestors bled and died for what you have. You don't have to go to a war. You don't have to get your limbs blown off. You don't have to sacrifice your children. All you have to do is break free from this imaginary curse that somehow the word racist and add any ism or phobia, right? Add anything in front of those words. Ignore it. Those words do not have a shred of power over you. And you need to start forming a strong community, right? If someone gets fired from their job because of some bullshit racist claim, support that person. Help him or her find a new job again. Provide them with some food, right? Help these people out. Stick together. Stop running away and stop turning a blind eye to your fellow brothers and sisters in need. And this goes to this is for like every person, not just whites, any and every person who wants to preserve their culture, their heritage, their race. You gotta stick together. I don't know if the white race will be here or not in 50 years. But let's say it's not. Do you think it will end there? Let's say Asians, for example, Chinese, Japanese. Do you think it will end with the white man? Pardon, that's my bloody dog. If you think it's gonna end there, you are sadly mistaken, right? Asian nationalists, you need to support other nationalists around the world. Do not turn a blind eye, right? Being a German nationalist, for example, or a British nationalist, does not automatically make you enemies with a Japanese nationalist or Korean or Chinese nationalists, right? You need to form an alliance and fight together for wanting to preserve your culture and your heritage and your race. Do not fall for these awful Marxist tactics. And white people, if you want to have a future, now's the time to wake up. Wake up, support each other, and do not go down without a fight.